have to point to the parts. A lot of it you just point in the general area, but they get kind of particular up there if you don't. But anyway, top clearance lights, turn signals, four-way hazards, and marker lights are all proper color of amber. Headlights, high and low beam, all lights working. If you can't find the water pump, find the bottom radiator hose. It leads up to the water pump. The water pump is mounted securely, not cracked, broken, or leaking. Don't know if it's probably gear driven. I really don't care which one you say. I'm not a mechanic. So if you say gear, you say belt, I'm happy. I think most of them up there are too. Alternator, mounted securely. A lot of it's on the other side. Mounted securely, not cracked or broken. Wires have a good connection, not cut or frayed. Exhaust system is from here back. This is not the exhaust, this is the intake. I have a lot of people tell me exhaust. The exhaust, front of the tractor to the back, not cracked, broken, or leaking. I'll check all hoses, make sure they're mounted securely, not cracked, broken, or leaking. The belts, not cut or frayed, no more than 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch, 3-play at the center. That's all on that side. A lot of them have the oil over here. Coolant, oil, power steering fluid, all full. Air compressor, power steering pump, mounted securely, not cracked or broken or leaking. It's always gear driven. If you can't find it, if you ever go to an automatic, they're hard to find. But you have the steering gearbox, just follow the hose and it'll lead to the power steering pump. On the automatics it leads back this way. And then the air compressor is mounted on the other side of it. But most of these sticks, they're right there. Anyway, air compressor, power steering pump, mounted securely, not cracked, broken, or leaking. It's gear driven. The steering gearbox and hoses, mounted securely, not cracked, broken, or leaking. Pitman arm, drag link, and steering knuckle, mounted securely, not bent, loose, or missing. The castle nuts are secure, cotter keys are not missing. Spring mounts, front, rear, center U-bolts, mounted securely, not cracked or broken. The leaf springs and shocks, mounted securely, not cracked or broken. The shock is not leaking hydraulic fluid. I do it a little different than the paper. They've got you jumping around. I like to go here, I like to go how the parts are connected. The next thing you see is the brake hose. Mounted securely, not cracked, broken, or leaking. It's connected to the brake chamber. Mounted securely, not cracked or broken or leaking air. The slack adjuster and push rods. Mounted securely, no loose or missing pieces. No more than 1 inch of free play at the push rod with the brakes released. Then we go to the brake drums and linings. Mounted securely, not cracked or broken, not worn dangerously thin. The inner hub seal, the outer seal, not leaking. If there's a sight glass present, you would check for proper level. Lug nuts, mounted securely, not cracked, broken, loose, or missing. Rims, mounted securely, not cracked or broken, no welding repairs. Tires, properly inflated as indicated on the sidewall. No cuts or bulges. Minimum tread depth of 4/32. I think we missed that one. I follow the flow. That way it's a lot easier. Because I never had to do one of these till I came here. I've done lots of pre-trips, but I never knew what those parts were called, never cared. Now I have to care. Then we do the door and hinges, mounted securely, latches securely. I think Brad tells you to check the weather stripping. It's not on the paper, you don't have to do it. Mirror, mounted securely, free of obstruction. At this time, we close the hood. go to state, you'll have to latch the hood, latch the passenger side. He may or may not latch this side for you, but be sure and check. But down here, I've got somebody right behind you, so we don't even mess with them. The fuel tank and steps mounted securely, not cracked or broken. Fuel tank is not leaking. The cap is secure. If you can't see the cap, maybe you have x-ray vision, but I don't, so you have to show me. A lot of people don't want to open that. Reflective tape, in good condition, not torn or missing. A lot of these trucks don't have it. Right over there is a good example. Say it anyway. Don't forget it. The marker light, turn signal, four-way hazard, proper color of amber, not cracked, broken, or missing. If it's amber, it's always three things: turn signal, four-way, marker light. If it's red, it's tail light, brake light, turn signal, and four-way hazard. Catwalk and steps mounted securely, not cracked or broken. Air lines and electrical lines mounted securely at both ends, not cracked or broken. Leaking air, the wire's not frayed. The drive shaft, can't hardly see it on this one, mounted securely at the U-joints, universal joints, not cracked or broken. The frame, from the front of the tractor to the back, cross members side to side, not cracked or broken, no welding repairs. Then we go back to here. There's 4 differences back here than there is up front. Brad says this is the torque rod down here. That looks like a mount for a spring to me. That, to me, is the torque rod. I will accept either one. But torque rod mounted securely, not cracked or broken. Tires, properly inflated as indicated on the sidewall, no cuts or bulges, minimum tread depth of 2/32. Evenly spaced, no debris. That's the third difference. Airbags, mounted securely top and bottom, not cracked or broken or leaking. That's the 4 differences. Everything else, we just check the same as that. All you have to do on the rest of it is name it and point to it. Spring mounts, front, rear, center U-bolts, leaf springs, shock absorber, brake hose, brake chamber, slack adjuster and push rods, drums, linings, inner hub seal, outer seal, lug nuts, rims. I'll check all that the same as I did in the front. Go to coupling system. Once again, I do it a little different. I like to start at the bottom. Mounting bolts mounted securely, not cracked, broken, none loose or missing. The platform mounted securely, not cracked or broken. Skid plate mounted securely, not cracked or broken, is properly greased. Apron and the kingpin, which you can't see, mounted securely, not cracked or broken. The apron is lying flat on the skid plate, no visible gap. The locking jaws are securely locked around the shank of the kingpin. The release arm handle, not cracked or broken, it's engaged in the lock position. Locking pins and air lines, if equipped, this one is. They're not missing, they're engaged in the lock position, and we have enough clearance that the tractor does not hit the landing gear in turns.
Clearance.
Do you all know what that means?
Yes, sir.
You know what that means? That's how you change your weight. Then we have the mud flaps and the splash guards. Mounted securely, not cracked or broken. Reflective tape is clean and not missing. Brake lights, tail lights, turn signal, 4-way hazard, proper color of red. Landing gear, mounted securely, not cracked or broken, fully raised. Trailer frame, check it from front to back, cross members from side to side. As long as you're outside of the truck, you can go back and get anything you forget. Once you get in the truck, you're done with the outside. The header board, mounted securely, not cracked or broken, no holes. Clearance light and reflector, supposed to be one, proper color of amber. Turn signal, 4-way hazard, marker light, proper color of amber, not cracked, broken, or missing.
Yes.
It's happy wherever it's at. The only difference we have back here is the tandem release and the locking pins. Mounted securely, not cracked or broken. Everything else we check the same as the front. This one does not have leaf springs. We go ahead and say, anyway, I would check the spring mounts, front, rear, center U-bolts, leaf springs, and shock absorbers if equipped. This one has the airbags. Check them. The torsion arm. I don't even see one on this one. They're usually on the leaf springs. We'll go over the leaf spring here in a minute and look at it. Then we go, I like to check the passenger side from here and the driver's side from there. That's the way I've always done it. You can't see this side. And if they drop your trailer, you're dropping a load, you pick up an empty trailer at a Walmart, it's stuck back in the mud. I ain't crawling underneath there. So this side you can see the brake hose, the brake chamber, the slack adjuster and push rod, the drums and linings. Check the inner oil seal, then we come back to this. The outer oil seal, that's what the sight glass looks like if they had one on the front. You'll find them on the trailers, you'll never find it on the drive axle. Lug nuts, rims, I'll check all that same as I did in the front. I like to do the tires each time the same way. Tires properly inflated as indicated on the sidewall, no cuts or bulges, minimum tread depth 230 seconds, evenly spaced, no debris. Check everything else the same as I did in the front. Mud flaps, I'll check it the same as I did the one on the drive tires. Check the doors and hinges. That's all. It's on a paper. That's all you have to say. If you want to say, make sure they're not cracked or broken, feel free to throw it in. It's always better to put more than less. But remember, you have 30 minutes to do the whole outside, inside, and the first 4-point. Brake lights, turn signals, 4-way hazard, and tail light, 3 center ID lights, proper color of red. Reflective tape, not torn or missing. I would check the passenger side, the same as I did the driver's side. Let's go over here and look at the springs on one of these. Now this one has the spring mounts front, rear, the center U-bolts, the leaf springs. It has no shock absorber. It has no airbags. And the torsion rod. This is your torsion rod here. It goes from here back. The airbag one doesn't have it. Even though it's not equipped, you're still supposed to mention it. They can mark it out. At this time, you would go into the cab. I would tell you, you can turn the key on, but do not start it. Watch me in the mirror, and we'd check the outside lights. Left, right, 4-way. You're supposed to turn on the marker lights, brake lights. I go up front, same thing, low beam, high beam, check all that, and then I would get in the cab. If you guys want to hop in, I'll get in the driver's side.